Hey guys, I thought I'd show you another ornament that I've made or come up with. This is a 3D snowflake ornament that I was playing around with. About this time last year, I think it was. I'd seen a video by Christine Savwell here on YouTube, and she had shown these Cheerylin dies that she used to make a kind of a, I guess, a gift topper out of doilies, and it was a doily set that she was selling on her blog that you could purchase from her, and they look very similar to this, and so I used a technique similar to what she did, and instead of using a doily I used my snowflake die. This is the snowflake die that I used, and it happens to be from Anna Griffin for Cuttlebug. And so this is the size die that I use. I think it is, let me see if I can measure it for you. From tip to tip, it's about 4 3/4. So this is a good size doily die. You can see it in my hand. And it's good detail too. So this is what I used. And what I used to make these ornaments, and I'll bring it closer so you can kind of see the finished look of it. I'm going to do a tutorial. I'll try to do one to show you how I put it together. This uses 3 snowflakes to put it together. The base snowflake and 2 whole snowflakes to make the dimensional piece of it. And I used double-sided paper. Again, this Lawn Fawn paper from some time ago. It's red with white snowflakes on one side. The reverse side is a light blue color with trees on it, and so you can't really see the blue color, but I just thought I'd show you what it looks like when it's finished, so that you can kind of get an idea if you want to make these or not. You can make them from any colors. Obviously white is probably, or blue is probably a good color to choose, but I'm choosing red for my tree this year, so I decided to hand make some ornaments. And I don't know if I'm going to make them even more dimensional by putting these back to back. You'll notice there's a brad in the middle, and the brad doesn't need to be there, but I put it on there just for a finishing touch. If you were to take these two, which are pretty much exactly the same, I did glitter them up with diamond dust, and if you were to put these back to back, I was showing my husband this earlier, it would really make a nice full ornament. But you could see here there's lots of dimension. I would glue them, you know, flat together, but you can see how this would look as a 3-dimensional ornament if you were to take 2 and put back to back. You don't have to do that, but it does look pretty. And these are 2 that I've finished, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I piece them together. It's basically the die cuts. So 3 die cuts for each of the snowflakes here, and a brad if you want a center to kind of give it some interest. I use these brads that I've had for a very long time. I don't use brads very often, but it's always nice to pull out something that you haven't used for something that's going to be really pretty. So that's what I used. I have this glue, which is the Aleene's paper glaze. So I pulled that out. That's what I used to glue this stuff. It's kind of like glossy accents. I also have this, but I haven't used it yet. It's probably the same thing, is my thinking, except more expensive, because that was $5.95, and I think I got this at Tuesday Morning for like $2. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, $2. So I had stocked up on these. So that's the glue. I probably won't show you the glittering because you guys, that's pretty simple. This is diamond dust. You get this at Michael's. And let me see. I use this Scotch glue to glue down the actual the papers, because it's faster. Now, so you're going to die cut 3 snowflakes, and I actually made a mistake and did it again. So I'm going to have to kind of stop and come back to you. But what you do is you cut snowflakes, and I'll show you this one because you're only going to cut 2 of them, and I keep doing this mistake. You're only going to cut 2 of them. The third one you're going to keep whole. So You're going to cut, die cut them out, right? 3 snowflakes using your die cutter. And then you're going to cut a slit down one of the middle legs, right down the middle, right? And it's one of the longer legs is what I chose to do. I haven't, and I think that's probably easier for you to follow this. And then what I did was I scored it along each of the longer legs down the middle. Now to do that, and this one isn't finished, I used my scoreboard and I just line up the tip of the snowflake. And because I have this triangle right here, which is supposed to be symmetrical, as long as that line passes from the tip through that triangle in the middle, I know it's centered. And I just score it down to the middle of the snowflake. So I hadn't done that yet, so I wanted to show you that on camera. And then I'll go ahead and then do this one the same exact way to show you how simple that is. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have 6-pointed snowflake, you'll have 5 score lines and 1 cut line in 2 of the snowflakes. And then all you're going to do is you're going to fold it. You're going to fan fold it. And that's the reason why we're doing the scoring through the tips of the snowflakes. And what I do is, instead of folding it all the way to the tip, I leave this part flat. And the reason I do that is, when you look at the finished product, finished ornament, you want these tips to be kind of flat, laying flat. They will start to bend, obviously, but I think if they're flattened out, they look a little bit nicer as opposed to really pointy. So I don't try to crease it all the way to the end. That's just something that was my choice. So then you're just going to fold it like a fan. Fold, and you can see me going. See, I went forward the first time, I went back the second time, and then I'm going to go forward again. And I'm not really, you know, you don't really have to try hard because you have scored it already, so it should fold pretty easily. And then backward. And then forward. And you're at the end. And so you're going to do that with one of the other snowflakes, and I have to go and cut another one because I accidentally cut all 3 of the ones that I needed. So I have this one, and I have this one, and now I need to cut the base layer. So I'll be right back and show you these. Hey guys, so I'm back. I have my base snowflake that I'm going to use to put the 2 folded pieces onto. Now what I have done is I've taken my tool here, my awl, and found the approximate center of the snowflake and just put a hole in it. And this is going to help me later to put the brad in. Now, the brad is an optional thing, and I can't even find the brads that I had. There they are. You're just going to need one. You can, by any means, use whatever you have, right? If you don't have brads, use a little piece of bling if you want, whatever you want, really, to go in the center. And so what I'm going to do is I take one of the folded ornaments now, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to glue the spines down to these shorter legs here. So I'm just going to put a little glue, and I use my fine tip liner because I don't like it to go everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and glue down this, kind of down the center of each one of these, and I'll put enough for the spine to grab onto. Just like that. Okay, and this is the quick dry glue, so you don't necessarily have to work quickly, but you do want to work in enough time so your glue doesn't dry on you. And I'm just going to use this little Cricut tool that I've had forever, and this is more for me to kind of place down the spines and make sure that they stick. So you basically take one of the folds where it's folded inward and you put it along the spine of where you put the glue, and you want to line up the center of this snowflake, folded snowflake, to approximately the center of your ornament. Okay, so I put the first leg down, and all I'm going to do is just kind of use this tool to help stick it in that crease. And I hope you can see this. It is kind of hard to film this with my head being on the other side of the camera and my arms being on the, one side. So hopefully I'm in camera and I'm not blocking it. And that's, me trying to stick it down. And then you basically will have a peak that goes up. It won't be glued down. And then the next spine over. So every other spine is going to be glued down to a shorter leg of the base snowflake. So I'm just using the tool to kind of just press it down in place a little bit. Whoops. And I keep hitting the camera. I apologize. I'm so bad at that. So I'm just kind of working at my own pace, it's not that bad. So I take the next, it's every other one. So you have one down, one up, one down, one up, one down, and you kind of just work your way around. So because I have cut 2 snowflakes to do this, you're basically going to end up where both of the ends are sticking up. Okay? So I'm just going to kind of fold that up a little bit so that it stays up and out of the way. And what I'm going to want to do is have the 2 sides meet at some point. And you can see that. There we go. I'm kind of bringing that up so it is folded up a little bit. Okay, so the next snowflake, sorry for my reach, I'm going to do the same thing too. So you'll notice that you have this edge and you'll have the other edge that are going to meet. So I'm going to take, again, the part that's down and stick it down to where I've laid some glue out. And see why, that's why I did all the glue first, because you can't really, it's a little hard to get in underneath here once you start gluing things down to the base layer. But it is easy to manipulate the legs. So that one went down, this one's going to go up, and then I'm going to take the next one over and stick it down to the glue. And I hope that you guys can see this well enough. It's hard to do this. I really am not a tutorial person, so forgive me. Or give me a thumbs down. Some people like to do that too. I noticed, as I'm doing this, I noticed that there are people that just like to do that. And you know what? It really doesn't matter, because it just gets you more views on your video. So thank you to those people who like to thumbs down and thumbs up. And also thank you to my new subscribers for joining me on my channel. I always am amazed when I get to a point where I'm surprised about how many people like to watch me or subscribe to me. Okay, so everything is glued down, right? So I'm good there. But now I have to contend with these 2 end pieces that are kind of like floating out in space and they don't meet up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take these 2 and I'm going to glue them together. You see, these are the 2 ends. And I'm just going to glue them together because you know what? At this point, it just needs to be, make sure you meet them in the middle. So I'm just going to take one side and put a little dab of glue on the legs here, and I'm going to join them together with that glue. Kind of make sure that I'm not hanging over here. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Put some glue on the back of this. And then join them together. And you will have your 3D snowflake. So as I said, I had watched Christine's video on this, and she had shown how to do this. She cuts more pieces when she does the doily. but I felt like it was too many for this particular snowflake. It would be too crowded because of the way it looks. And so yeah, so there we go. And part of the reason that I like to put the brad in, let me close my glue. Part of the reason I like to use the brad, and I'm sorry again for hitting the camera, is because that center part isn't really stuck down. You could glue it down, but I think the brad just kind of helps make everything look more finished. That's the word I'm looking for. Now, if I could get my fat fingers down in there to put the brad through the hole, that was the other thing. That's the reason why I made the hole ahead of time. And see how it brings that together? So it's not glued in the center between the two snowflakes, but the brad sort of helps you bring it all together. And then I'll just open it in the back so that it's more, you know, joined. So that's it. Now you have this 3D snowflake. And all I did for the glitter was basically take some glue and put it down the center of the spines, both on this part and on this part, but really it's your personal preference. You can glitter the whole thing if you want, but I think, you know, for me, I just wanted to see what it would look like. But that is it. Easy peasy. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and again, thank you to my new subscribers and my old subscribers who continue to come back and watch me and leave such lovely comments. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye now.